something new. We're going to be making a Danish treat called an Ebelskiver or an Aebelskiver. And I probably am butchering that, so pardon me if I am. What that really means is, in Danish, that means apple slices. It's sort of a cross between a pancake and a popover, and they used to put a slice of apple inside of them, but we're not going to use the apple today. We are, however, going to be using this pan. This is a vintage Aebelskiver pan, and it's about 66 years old, so it's seen quite a few of these little tasty treats. I also have a recipe which I'm not using today since it's my first time. I thought I'd make it a little easier on myself and try the mix. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. So what we have here are 2 eggs, and I've separated the whites, and I'm going to put the whites aside for later. We have the 2 egg yolks here, 2 tablespoons of butter. We have 1½ cups of the Aebleskiver mix, and then here I have a 1/4 cup of buttermilk, and I'm going to be adding to that a cup of regular milk. You could just use all milk, but it was sort of suggested that is that a cup? Yeah, that the buttermilk give it an extra little kick to it. We're going to put all this together, and then we're going to whisk it together. First, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the liquid ingredients. I have the 2 egg whites, the melted butter, and the milk to go in. Okay, let's put in the butter. You don't want your melted butter to be too warm, so I let it cool down to room temperature almost. You don't want it to solidify either. All right, let's go ahead and break up that egg, and we'll go ahead and whisk. Once you get all of it incorporated, then you can go ahead and slowly start introducing the dry ingredients. I'm just going to go ahead and whisk this until it becomes a smooth batter. Next step is going to be the egg whites. You're going to use an electric mixer, and you're going to beat those 2 egg whites on high until stiff but not really dry peaks form. It's about 1 to 2 minutes. I think that's about where I want it. What we've done is we've basically just beat a bunch of air into the egg whites, and it's starting to get stiff, but it's not a dry stiff yet. So I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead now and use that beaters, and I'm going to just give this a quick go just to make sure I've smoothed it really well. You may be wondering why I waited till the end to beat those up with the electric mixer. It's because with egg whites, you don't want any water in the bowl, on the beaters, nothing, or it will not make these peaks. So I didn't want to have to wash them and then risk having any water on them. So I whisked this together kind of first, and then I let it rest, and then I did the egg whites, and then I used those beaters to do this, just in case you're wondering. So now what you're going to do is you're going to gently fold this egg mixture in, and it should come right out of the bowl like you see there. I'm not going to vigorously be moving it around. What we've done is we've put a lot of air into these egg whites, and we don't want to take too much of that air out. We want to keep it. So you're going to actually just cut your egg whites in half like that and just fold them in. Turn your bowl, cut it in the middle and fold it in. Cut it in the middle and gently fold it in. And that's what we're going to do. We don't want a smooth texture on these. We still want some of that lumpiness from the egg whites so that we retain some of that aerated properties of it. I'm going to go ahead and scrape my bowl and give it just a few more turns. It's almost perfect. And there I go. You can still see that there are unincorporated egg bits right in there. So we're going to let this set aside and go ahead and get our pan ready. I'm going to be using the gas burner today, and I have it set to about medium-low. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of oil in each of these cavities. You can use butter or clarified butter or shortening or whatever you choose. I'm going to be using just plain oil today. just about a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, I'm sorry. Just a little bit. I'm just going to use a silicone basting brush here to make sure it gets all around those cavities. I think we're ready. I'm going to put about 1/8 of a cup into, we're just going to start with one well. Let's just experiment with one. We'll do this one in the center here. Where I'm experimenting is for a couple of reasons. I want to make sure I get the temperature right, and I want to make sure that I get the turning feature right. So I think this can go up a little bit until I hear it sizzling. And then you're just going to let it cook until you see bubbles forming on the top. All right, let's go ahead and see if this is going to turn. There we go. So you're going to turn it one way like that, and then let all the batter drip out. Since that looks like it's going all right, we're going to go ahead and fill the rest of the wells. And it looks like about 2 of these 1/8 cups will fill it. You want to do it almost to the top, but not quite to the top, because it's going to expand since it's got baking powder in it. Move rather quickly so I can get that other one turned again. If you don't get quite enough batter in, it's not going to close up on you when you do the final turn. So let's see how we're doing. There we go. Oh, that looks nice. It's not ready. If they're not moving, then they're not really ready. There we go. Give the other ones a few more minutes. I'm going to grab this one from the corner and do another turn, making sure that the batter's coming out. That one's not ready. Start to see the dry bubbles around the edges. Kind of starts letting you know it's ready. Just make sure we poke that one in the center and close that one completely down. That's why it's nice to use a skewer, because you can sort of poke them if you need to. You want to make sure you're turning them so that the batter rolls back into the cavity there. And then with these ones, they should be all closed down. And you can go ahead and just start turning them to get them a little bit more evenly baked. And we'll just keep turning them and giving them a chance to completely bake all the way around. Now you can actually use a small knitting needle for this as well. In fact, that's traditionally, I believe, what they used. Skewer works well too. And you just keep turning these until it's completely golden brown all the way around. Now some people do just turn them halfway. They wait till they're ready to turn the first time and then just turn them completely around. Now that'll give you more of a football shape. Traditionally, this is the proper way because it's more of a spherical shape. All right, and we'll just keep these going. Round 2. Well, these ones look a little more crispy. Hopefully I'm not going to burn them. The trick isn't so much the turning as it is getting the temperature right in the pan. And then we'll just start the flipping phase once it's well closed up. All right. There you go. A whole delicious plate of Aebelskivers. Okay, I have them here, and I've just been lightly sprinkling them with some powder. If I had a better powdered sugar dispenser, this would work out well. Traditionally, they just use powdered sugar and then maybe a jam, and that would be good. I have like a fig butter here, and I also have a blueberry lemon jam with honey, and that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and get one of these. Put some jam on it here. Mmm, that is good. It's nice and fluffy on the inside. You can see, well, there goes the cat on the window. You can see the air bubbles here. It's nice and light, and that's because we didn't over whip the eggs, the egg whites. So delicious. And there you go. Danish Aebelskivers.